to the City on Screen Student Union election debate. My name's Callum Winterford and we're joined by all four of the election candidates. And we welcome on our far right Tuhel Ahmed from Team 21. Next to him, Rice Yin, who's an independent candidate. Next to her we have Giulio Folino, who's also an independent candidate. Finally on my near right we have Emma Barnes, who is running for Unite for City. Okay, so on to our first question, and this will be addressed to Tuhel first. Some people have suggested that some of the candidates' policies are fairly similar. So what do you think sets you out from other candidates?
I think what sets me apart is what individual I bring to the table from my experiences. From a very young age, through my school and college and university, I've been an ambassador for the university as well as the college, and I've been on councils where I've advised, set a positive image about the university, colleges, and be able to help students enjoy university life and be able to implement that into their life, giving advice. So I think that's what sets me apart, the fact that I can portray to the students what they can gain from university and from other aspects in university, which would probably set me apart from other candidates.
Okay, and Rice?
Yeah, I do find there are a lot of similarities over all of our candidates, but I do have some points which are quite completely different from the other candidates. For example, the things that I mentioned on my poster is the overseas experience that I believe that everyone wants to go abroad in their life at some point, and what I want to do is setting up a platform that all the students could come along to join the platform, because I know that City University have students coming from more than 160 countries. So if we can use these resources to build a platform for people that they can exchange experience overseas, then it would be a really good approach to go on. Yeah.
Okay, and Giulio?
My main differences are that I would have a more active and campaigning union which would fight cuts to higher education and also the cuts to the NHS as we know it. As we know, the School of Health is one of the largest schools in this university at the moment, and the kind of support I have from the university is quite different as well. I have the outgoing and incoming rugby captains supporting me, the cheerleaders supporting me, the Law Society, International Affairs Society, LGBT and Labour Society. So the support from those societies obviously makes me different from the rest of the candidates.
Okay, and finally Emma.
I'd say what sets me apart is my experience. So I have been the elected representative for the School of Health, which is the largest school, for the last 2 years. I was elected 2 years ago and then re-elected to do that job. In my time as the SRO for Health, I've helped the Students' Union to work on a range of issues, helping you to maintain the 24-hour library, helping you to get the cash machines. I've also been a society president and a captain of a sports team, so I think I bring a range of experiences from across different areas of university life.
Okay, thank you very much, and we'll start with you this time. We're going to ask, what are your main focuses and why are these your focuses?
I would say I have 2 areas of focus. One is changing the Students' Union and one is changing the university. In the side of the union, I think we need to strengthen our representation and strengthen the way we address student issues. I think we need a union that's strong enough to stand up to issues in the university, and I think we need a union that listens to your views and makes sure that every single issue you have is addressed appropriately, quickly, and that you've got the right kind of representation. In the union, for the university, I think we just need to make sure that the facilities are sorted out. Things like sports facilities and food and drink.
Okay, and Giulio, what are your focuses?
One of my main focuses is that I want students to feel proud of going to City. Too many students are let down by the student experience at City, and that ends up with them feeling a bit, I'm not very proud of going to City. So one thing that I would change is by improving on student experience. I want us to be I want people to feel proud of going to City University. That's one thing that I'd like to change.
Okay, and Rice, what about you?
Yeah, my main focus is definitely going to be the expense of university cost. As we know, the rise of tuition fees, there must be a lot of students find extremely difficult to cope with the student budget in terms of accommodation and food price and all things like that, like transport. And that's why I believe the cost of living must be the first issue in terms of anything, because if you can't solve this out, definitely you won't be concentrate enough on your studying or going out in terms of any ways. So yeah, that's my critique.
Okay, and finally, Tuhel, what about you?
Like some of the other candidates have already said, I do have dual focus on education first of all, and then with the student union. The education side, always improvements to be made in terms of feedback, as well as how they can improve the facilities in the universities. Some schools are lacking in the facilities available to them, so that's one thing to build on. And another would be with the student union, as well as the societies, building up societies. We should have multicultural events as well as inter-society events, so everyone can bond together and enjoy being one and enjoy the experience that university has to offer.
Okay, and we'll stick with you. What areas do you think the university falls down on at the moment? Obviously, you've picked up on some issues that you want changing. So what are your plans to change them?
One of the important aspects is student involvement. A lot of people, I felt didn't know about the elections. So if they don't know about the elections, they can't have their own sense of that they've done something to change the university. So one of the main things from learning from this campaign is that we should approach students and be able to enlighten about what is happening in the university, so they feel that they have a sense of belonging and they have an impact on the university. By doing that, we can make changes that the student wants and actually deliver what they want. By only listening to them, we can deliver the goods. So that's
Okay, and Rice?
Yeah, I actually agree that I believe many of students lack of the awareness that they are actually the owner of the university. They are actually the one who pay the tuition fees as a customer to come to university to get educated. So everyone should have the right to deserve what they want from university in terms of any ways, either from education or cost of living or anything like that.
Okay, and Giulio?
Actually, where the university falls down at the moment, I'd say it's a student experience. Like the other candidates were saying, not maybe enough students know about the student elections that are going on, not enough students want to get involved. And to change that, I want to completely revamp the website, have a completely new redesign so that it's easy to find out what's going on, easy to find out where societies are and what events they're having, and also so that comes as part of communication. And finally, a lot of students this week have been telling me about library services, the fact that people make a lot of noise in the library, also when they want to get a book it's always on loan, so things like that I'd like to change.
Okay, and Emma?
Well, Giulio mentioned that people don't feel like they want to get involved, but I think for that, I think the university needs to provide opportunities that for students to do things that they really want to get involved in. So I think we need to look at what the university provides for students that are outside of their academic studies, so things like languages lessons, things to help them with careers, as well as the extracurricular activities that the union provides, such as sports and societies. But then I think we also need to look at the communication that the university has and the students' union. Neither of them communicate very effectively, and we need to improve that.
Okay. Some of you have suggested here today, and also in your manifestos, that the current setup at City University isn't very democratic, that students don't have their say and that they don't have enough control over certain things. So why do you think this is, and what are you going to do to change it?
I think it's more of an awareness issue, really. I think at the end of the day, representing people's views starts with programme reps, and it starts with students and their lecturers. So I think if we can get a good forum for programme reps and students and lecturers to come together to express issues, then ideally all issues with education and all problems can be addressed. That's not going to happen, so I think we need to increase the number of open meetings, that the amount of time sabbatical officers spend face-to-face with students, and the amount of time students can really spend talking to their student union reps.
Okay, Giulio.
Absolutely. I think democracy is a huge problem at the student union at the moment. The fact is that we've only had 2 AGMs this year, and we really need to have them more regularly and more often. Even if we don't hit the right amount of people to make a decision, we need to have them more often so that we can raise awareness. And I want to completely rename them and call them student power meetings so that they sound less boring and a natural place where people can feel like that their voice is going to be heard.
Okay, and Rice.
Yeah, and I feel like the response from university towards students' requests are definitely too slow. Just take the example of credits of studies that cost students who took 150 credits by completing this course, but the other universities like LSE, UCL, they took only 125 to complete the course. That means CAS student spend much more time and much more work to do just to complete the course, but also this credit are not stated in our certificate, so it's a really unfair effort. So yeah, that's the issue I want to address on.
Okay, and finally, Tuhel.
I think there is the opportunity for it to be a democratic, but the students have to take awareness and take their own initiative and be part of the university for that to happen. Like the elections, if they vote, they have the right to vote, but some people don't. And even if you have the meetings, the power meeting, you can rename it as much as you like, but it's the same thing. Are people going to go to it? Are people going to stand for whatever it stands for? You need to bring awareness that they can change things in the meetings, or it's going to be the same thing over and over again. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much. Our final question was sent in by a student. He's concerned about the importance of cheaper accommodation, particularly after the rise in prices of the renovations. So is there anything you can do as student union presidents to change that? And if so, what? I will start with Tuhel.
I think the student fees obviously has been rising, and that is a major problem with a lot of the students. But what we can try and do is try and find agencies that will be able to provide the accommodation, if not closer to the university, but some distance, and to see what options are available to the students. But that would need negotiation with a lot of people from a lot of areas. It will be a lot of hard work. It's just about putting the time and effort in and finding the people who are available to let the accommodation, maybe private, through other estate agents, but hopefully we can try and amend this issue.
Okay, and Rice.
Yeah, this is the time I want to mention about the website that I want to set up. It's like we can set up this website and then promote this to all the agents or even the landlord by saying if you can directly contact city universities through this website, then we can charge you less administration fees. So both of the parties are going to benefit from this. So yeah, that's one of the approach to cheaper accommodation, and the second approach might be contracting out more accommodation rooms with the other agents. Yeah.
Okay, Giulio.
At the moment, I think housing fairs in this university are dominated by Liberty Living and places like Nido Housing, which obviously charge extortionate rent and prices. So unfortunately, because of that, there isn't much choice in the market. What I would like to do is introduce housing fairs that include loads of more independent landlords from the local area, and also a scheme where third-year students can pass on the houses they live in to first-year students as well, just in order to kind of keep accommodation prices low.
Okay, and Emma, finally.
I think the question was, what can the president do to influence this? And I think as the president sits on University Council, which is the highest governing body in the university, they've got the power to influence the vice-chancellor and all the decision makers in the university to make sure that when the university take decisions like this, the president can say, well, what about students? How do you think this is going to affect students? On a more local level, the president can work with local estate agents, or they can work with housing providers to make sure that students get value for money and that students are made aware of accommodation where it is and how to find it.
Okay, thank you. That's all we've got time for. I'd like to thank our student union candidates for joining us, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.